You cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him find it within himself. Those are pretty powerful words from a guy named Galileo. Perhaps you've heard of him, astronomer, philosopher, mathematician, genius guy. He's talking about training and teaching. And it's something that's so important in organizations. It's often overlooked. It's often done in a very haphazard, unstructured way, but it's so important. It can mean the difference between a gift officer who just kind of phones it in and probably only stays around for 18 months or 24 months, and ones who really excel and stay around for a long time and do great work and build strong relationships with your donors and the organization you serve. I'm going to share a little bit of what I've learned in studying the latest research on training and teaching and working with hundreds of gift officers and board members around the country. So whether you are training or teaching your gift officers, board members, maybe your child to learn an instrument or a sport, I hope these ideas will be helpful in your work. Number one key point is that everyone has their own learning preferences. It's really important. I see so much generic training out there that one size fits all doesn't work. I work with an organization called AskingMatters.com. I'm a certified trainer. A lot of that training is based on the proven research that there are generally two types of people, intuitives and analytics. So analytics tend to be very detailed. They want to understand the theory behind something. They may be slower and more methodical and really think things through. Intuitives, we are more think on our feet people. We're not as good with the details. We have to work harder on the details. Don't really want as much theory. We're anxious to get out there and start applying it. Step number one is to figure out what the learning style and preferences of those that you are training. You can go to askingmatters.com/findyourstyle. You and your team can take a 3-minute survey and it'll give you some sense of whether who is analytic and who is intuitive. Quick example, my friend Rick and I are studying the guitar. Rick is a clear analytic. If we're working on a song, he'll sit for hours and write out all the parts of the guitar parts and the music and really fine detail. And as an intuitive, I'm just like, you know what, I'd rather listen to the song 50 times and figure it out by ear and just feel the song. And you know what, if it's not perfect, that's fine. It's more about the feel than getting every note exactly right. So it's really interesting to see the dynamic and look for that in the people that you're training and teaching and tailor that. And remember that we all learn different and everyone does not learn the way you do. The second big point is that teaching is not just about telling. Yes, it's about dispensing the information, but then it's about both presenting it in a way that fits your students' learning preference. It's demonstrating that and trying to use different examples. So an intuitive may be more visual, so they may want to see something. Let's say we're teaching someone the difference between a charitable remainder trust and a charitable lead trust. Well, an intuitive might want to see a graphic. They might want to see how the money goes from the donor to the charity and then back to the donor. Whereas an analytic might want to get online and do some gift calculations, go on some gift calculation software and really understand the detail. So offer both. Offer a little bit for everybody. The other thing is, it's a really important point. I read this great book called The Talent Code, where they've done all this research on high-level athletes and musicians. And they found that people learn the most when they struggle. Don't just give the answer away. So I've worked with, as an example, again, with guitar teachers who will demonstrate something, and then if I don't understand that, they'll tell me the answer. And I keep coming back to them saying, no, let me struggle. Don't give me the answer right away. Give me hints. Help me figure it out for myself in the way that I process information. That's what you need to do with the people you're training and teaching. Let them struggle a little bit, give them hints, and then let them figure that out for themselves. That's how they're going to learn. It's a really key point. The other point is that just memorizing something is not learning either. You're going to forget it. Especially, let's say, plan giving. Again, if we're teaching somebody the difference between child remainder trust and child lead trust, do some role playing. Make sure they own it. Don't just role play with you as the fundraiser. Let them be the fundraiser and you're the donor. Then they're going to be able to figure it out. The other really cool thing to do is, and I've done this, I might be in a training session with gift officers, and let's say the VP is running late, so he or she may come in an hour later. I'll stop the training, and then I'll say to the group, okay, group, let's teach Mary what we just learned. Let them teach. Stephen Covey, author of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, said, the best way to learn something is to teach it. So let them teach it, and you can see right away, do they really understand this, or do we need to go back? The other thing is reinforcement. It's huge. Again, especially with plan giving. Learning the plan giving gift vehicles, it's kind of like learning a foreign language. If you're not using it on a regular basis, you're going to forget some of the subtle nuances of the differences between the gift vehicles. So have a plan to go back 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, 3 months later, 6 months later, and keep reviewing it and keep role-playing it and make sure that people really understand the information. And hopefully they're using it in the field with donors, right? So I hope this was helpful. Drop me a line anytime with questions. If you want to see something, a new idea for a video or a podcast, joe@joetumalo.com. I have my new book, Go See People, the expanded version. There's close to 200 pages of great ideas. You can find that on amazon.com. If I can help you with your training at your organization, you can always call me at 610-653-7906. Until next time, all the best to you.